backups and there's no contact, and here we go. There we go, right here. I'm going to mute that because I'm not trying to get a copyright over watching some people run with the ball. And Andy Fromell, right off the bat, still no 5-on-5 practice, no contact. This is not a good sign for Caitlin Clark returning when I see her first regulation shot go through the net. Yes, I'm jaded. Amen. Amen. Amen, brother. R. Adam Lee.
Caitlin Clark is practicing again, but instead of excitement, the reaction has been pure skepticism. Fans are openly saying, nah, we're not falling for this again. It's shocking. No footage of the league's biggest star should be met with this kind of backlash. Yet here we are. What's driving this wave of doubt, and why are fans so convinced that her 2025 return is fiction? That disconnect tells us more than the drills themselves. And that's exactly what we need to unpack right now. When the clip hit social media, it looked like the kind of update fans had been waiting months to see. Caitlin Clark back in a uniform, sneakers squeaking on the hardwood, moving through drills with a couple of teammates running support. She was dribbling up the floor, pulling up for jumpers, jogging back to the baseline for another rep. On the surface, it looked like progress, but instead of celebration, the internet reacted with narrowed eyes. The replies weren't filled with "she's back" or "finally." They were flooded with short, skeptical lines. The tone was blunt. People don't believe it this time.
And shooting baskets. This is Chloe Peterson's footage, by the way. Shout out. Go follow her if you don't already. I'm sure many of you do. Y'all are tired. I can feel it. The fandom, the Caitlin Clark fandom is tired. Yawn. I'll be excited. Not to be confused with R. Lee Emery. Isn't that his name? Full Metal Jacket. Running but no contact practice? Question mark.
The footage itself isn't much more than a light workout session. Clark was running the kind of half-speed movements that players use during an early stage return. No defenders, no real contact, no scrimmage. She set her feet for threes, jogged over to a cone, worked on footwork, and cycled through the same motions alongside backups. That's normal in the rehab timeline, but highlight reels usually don't go viral unless they hint at something bigger. Fans expected movement toward a comeback. Instead, they saw what looked like a restart of the same script as before. Normally, anytime a star touches the court after being sidelined, the excitement meter shoots up instantly. With Clark, though, the mood was different. The comment sections filled with suspicion. "We've seen this before," was the general feeling. Last summer, clips popped up of her doing similar drills, with fans immediately jumping to conclusions that she was days away from playing again. That buildup collapsed when she never made it back. The memory of those broken expectations is shaping how people process this new video. And there's a real difference here between what drills mean and what actual basketball activities look like before a return. A player can shoot and run light cuts without touching anyone. That's far from the chaos of a 5-on-5 practice where you have to absorb contact, read defenses, and push your body into unpredictable movements. Teams usually require that step, full scrimmage minutes, before they clear an athlete for live games. This video didn't show anything like that. It looked closer to an extended warm-up than a true scrimmage. Another reason fans aren't sold comes from the official injury listing. Clark is still stamped as out on the Fever's own report. Her name sits next to other sideline players like it always has. On paper, nothing about her availability has changed. That mismatch, fun practice footage with no official update, fuels the belief that this is more marketing than progress. The fan pushback itself has its own narrative. One said, "Nah, we're not falling for this again," and hundreds of others nodded in agreement online. It's not that people want Clark to stay hurt. It's that after seeing the same pattern play out before, hope now feels more like a setup than a promise. It's the sports fan version of deja vu, and it wears down trust fast. From a medical standpoint, this stage is completely normal. Trainers often start with simple drills to rebuild confidence and test conditioning. NBA superstars and WNBA players alike have gone through the same easing in phase after injury, but sports medicine isn't the same thing as game readiness. Fans don't crave updates showing a star jogging up and down half speed. They want to see 5 defenders throwing bodies at her and her responding at full speed. That hasn't happened yet in any public or reported session, so that raises the pressing question: is this a tease for hope or just a PR clip intended to cool headlines about her absence? The answer points more toward the second. Nothing in the footage suggested Clark is gearing up for a late season cameo in 2025. Instead, it underscored the gap between what the team shows the public and what actually indicates meaningful recovery. That's the root of the mistrust right now, and it sets the stage for the real sticking point, how the Fever actually talk about her timeline. You know what's crazy? What's bothering people the most isn't even Caitlin Clark's recovery. It's the way the Fever keep talking about it, or really not talking about it. At first, everything was framed around a muscle issue. Then suddenly the update started mentioning an ankle. The team never spelled out if it was a new problem, a lingering symptom, or just cautious wording from the medical staff. Every time fans thought they had some kind of timeline, another vague phrase showed up in a press interview, and those phrases were so unclear that nobody could actually figure out what they meant. Imagine you buy tickets months in advance hoping to see the league's top draw. Every injury report you read either says out or nothing at all. Press conferences don't shed any more light either. Reporters have tried to get specifics, asking how close she is to practicing at full speed, but the head coach gives the same safe response. She's progressing, she's working hard, we'll see when she's ready. It's technically true, but it leaves no real information for anyone, and when you stack those kinds of answers back to back, week after week, frustration builds. It starts to feel like the organization is stringing people along. That feeling isn't new either. Last year, fans went through an entire cycle of optimism where every small update got hyped, only for nothing to materialize. That burned them. Now, with another year of unclear messaging, they aren't just cautious, they're dismissive. And it makes sense, because general answers allow every little setback to grow into a theory online. If you're a diehard fan scrolling through Twitter and Reddit, it's easy to find people convinced that Clark may not even return next season. That rumor mill doesn't spin so wildly if the team just sets a clear public timetable. And it's not just about fans on social media. There's a money factor too. Think about season ticket holders who commit thousands of dollars. Think about gamblers who place bets based on whether a player is expected back in a few weeks or maybe months. When you give exact updates, like out 6 weeks, reevaluation on this date, people plan accordingly. That's how the NFL operates. Teams have to give concrete designations: questionable, doubtful, probable. Everyone knows where things stand, even if it changes later. Contrast that with the WNBA, and specifically the Fever, where words like day-to-day or working her way back can carry on for months. The difference in transparency is massive. You also have to factor in the outside pressure. Nike just launched one of the biggest sneaker campaigns in women's basketball history around Caitlin. Commercials, billboards, digital promos, she's everywhere. Sponsors don't like uncertainty because timing matters. They need to know when she'll be in front of cameras again playing, not just jogging through a drill for 30 seconds. The league itself needs that clarity too. Caitlin is the draw for WNBA attendance spikes and TV ratings. Every vague comment undercuts the business side as much as it lets fans down. Here's the thing though, fans aren't rejecting Caitlin at all. They're rejecting the way the story is being told. When injury timelines are left fuzzy, every little video clip looks like staged content to appease the masses rather than real progress. If the Fever were up front, even saying she's still 3 months away but here's the plan, the trust builds back. Instead, the mystery makes even good news feel hollow, and that shows the real problem here. This isn't a debate about one injury anymore. It's become about trust, and right now, the Fever are losing it. That practice footage should have been a spark, but without trust, it feels empty. Fans don't want another quick clip of Caitlin jogging. They want a timeline that actually means something. Imagine how different the reaction would be if the team just said, here's where she stands, here's the next checkpoint. That's real information people can believe. Right now, the hype machine is louder than the updates. And Caitlin's return isn't just about scoring again. It's about whether the Fever and the league prove they care as much about honesty as they do about star power.